What do you think that is? And like, of course, you know, when someone like says Mama Pele, or someone else says God, or someone else says the universe, or Buddha, do you have an idea of consciousness that you feel you believe in or inspires you?
I mean, it's hard to say, but I feel like there is only one sort of consciousness, and we are living it. The fact that we believe in ourselves, the ego that helps us as well, as a tool to evolve in the world and avoid some things. But at that time, there is this kind of connection as well, and maybe we are part of a whole. The human is amazing because we are conscious that we live. I don't think an animal wakes up in the morning thinking about his death.
Right.
But the human is capable of being conscious of who he is. Then consciousness will also be a struggle and a burden because we know that this may stop at some point.
Going. Welcome back, everybody, to Beyond the Hustle by Madam Vision, recorded live here in Taipei, Taiwan at Core Cultural Studios. If you haven't already, smash that subscription button, comment, like, do all the good stuff. Let us know you're here. Let us know you're engaged. Really excited to present our guest for today, Stéphane Peden. And this is a man who he tight walks the rope of who he knows he is and who he's perceived to be. I sense a very, very profound sense of compassion from this man, a man who I think truly is the epitome of beyond the hustle. As you know, on this show, we like to explore the nexus or the fusion of entrepreneurialism, spirituality, and of course, more abundance, success. And I'm really honored and grateful to have you on the show today, Stéphane. Welcome.
Thank you. Thank you for hosting.
Welcome. So right off the bat, my first question to you is, how would you interpret beyond the hustle? What do those words mean to you?
I mean, beyond the hustle, for me, it's mostly like from what I heard from the different episodes that I went through in your podcast. And I think from what I perceive is how to go beyond who you are, beyond what the society is trying to show you, beyond what people expect from you, but being your true self and try to see the world for what it is really.
Right. That's amazing. And for anybody who I'm sure is listening right now, they can simply click into, you know, we provided a bio on some of the things you've done, and your introduction doesn't need me to say it. You've done many amazing things and have held some very prominent positions within a societal role. But the first thing that struck me about you was this immediate sense of, I guess, I don't want to use the word humanity, but I feel this very strong empathy in you. How has empathy kind of guided your initiatives and your missions?
I feel the empathy is probably something that come from when I was young, because I had the chance to live in a very small part of France with very nice people. My grandparents, they were hard workers in the field of farming, seaweed growers.
Wow.
And also some part of like military people, but they had this great value of working and knowing who they are, have the value of the human, respect other people, like gather people. I saw my grandmother, she was gathering people around her all the time. So
Wow.
I feel like seeing that also helped me to see that people are nice, genuinely nice usually, especially if you smile to them. And then I felt from people, so I was trying to listen to people, to understand who they are, and be with them. So I think this empathy is pretty natural in everyone. Like you feel the people, you know if they are good to you or they are not good to you, and if you listen to that, probably you can navigate the world.
Wow. So your first interaction with people was through your grandmother, who was kind of like this tribal leader, bringing people together.
For this yeah, this gathering of people, it was through this experience. But I mean, my experience with people was always nice because since I'm young, I have a group of of friends that we are together. We are friends together since we are like 2 years old. I had the chance to be. I just met them again when I went back to France. We did our 14-year-old birthday together.
Nice.
It's like great people with great value, great art. So yeah, I mean, I was very lucky to be surrounded by a good family and good friends since I'm young.
Right. Just ultimate values of like connection and community.
True, and this is also the foundation that make me who I am right now. And you know that whatever happened, you can always go back to this strong, you know, ground with friends, families that will be always there for you.
I noticed that, you know, I feel like I can relate in a way where I'm very grateful for my upbringing. Although, of course, there's highs and lows. We all go through our own problems, but I've noticed that the people I gravitate towards are people. We say that, you know, I grew up in New York City too. When you're a people person, you genuinely have a love and a curiosity for people. I can sense that in you. And I feel like you naturally want to share that love with people who you don't feel have it. Have you noticed that in yourself, that there's like a calling to share that?
Yeah, sure, but yeah, I think also when you see that, you try to surround yourself with people you can feel are good to you. So at the end, it's kind of natural to share that with them because I mean, we attract the same kind of people, I guess, at some point, or the fact that, yeah, you can feel people, you can feel the emotion, you can, and I don't know how to.
You say it in French. Is there a French term for it?
No, it's just there is this. You don't have to show love to give it to people. I mean, it's through the way you act, through the way you exchange with people, and I feel if you are always curious about the other people, you will always find new character, new experience, new ideas from sharing with anyone. So I'm not trying to share love or to be nice to people. I'm just trying to learn from others. So like that, it will help me to grow myself and navigate the world through other people, I think.
Well, I mean, I feel like that's kind of navigated you quite some places. Take me back to France and how your journey kind of began and how you eventually ended up here in Taipei, Taiwan, which is, I imagine people might hear this and like, how?
Yeah, I think it was not. I think it was meant to be because from where I come from, it's like it's a little village in France. You know, at the beginning, you go to school, you go to college, you try to find yourself. When you're in France at the beginning, we don't really speak English. I think I couldn't speak English until I'm 18 or something.
Wow.
And you always think you will do your life in France. You will get a job in a bank or something, and then you will buy a house. You will grow a family. You will replicate what you had when you were young. Especially, I had a very, very, very happy childhood with nice parents, nice friends, nice family. It was amazing. So usually you think you want to replicate this in the world. Then you start to study. I went to business studies.
Nice.
And at some point, something happened in my life. I didn't pass the first year of my first year of university, and at the same time there was an opportunity to go abroad in Spain for a multilateral exchange. It was an initiative from Europe at that time, where they gather 7 people from every country in Europe and put them together in a country around a theme, and this was meant to help the cohesion in between European people together.
Wow.
So a group of French people were chosen to go there. And at some point, I don't know, I was to a friend's house and they were saying that they want to do that, but they had to cancel. So I asked my other friend, like, do you want to replace them? Like, it was like 100 or 200 euro for 2 weeks in Spain. I mean, for me, it was like, on the paper, it was perfect. So we managed to do that. My parents were not very happy because I didn't pass, and I still told them I will go there no matter what. I went to work. I was working during the summer. I took the money and I said yes. And then I went there for 2 weeks, and that changed my perception of the world. Because imagine you are together with 7 people from, I think it was 9 or 10 countries from Europe, Hungary, Bulgaria, and Romania, and Spain, Italian, French, all together. And then like some of the people, I couldn't speak to them, the Bulgarian people. I barely can speak in English, they barely speak English. We were drawing, we were talking with hand, we became great friends, and then, I don't know, you are in this little bubble for 2 weeks with people you never met in your life from different culture. For them, coming there, it's like 1 month salary. Like we paid like 200 euros at the time.
Yeah, that's a lot. They've been saving up for this.
Yeah, and then you understand that the world is not like your little world that where you were born in France. There is something else. They have for these people, it's not as easy as for you. They have different value, different culture, but then you get out of this. You have to go back. We were doing this with the children, for people. It was really like a social theme around that, like how to create a better Europe together through the young people.
What an initiative!
Yeah, it was amazing. And when you come back, wow, the bubble break, and you are back to your life, and you're like, wow, all this emotion are rushing. You miss everyone. You are like you were in paradise for a while, and then you go back to reality, and like you want to touch that again. So first thing first, I decided with my friends that we will host it in France. So we did it the next year with same people and other people, and we brought people back, and we went to Estonia, and we continued to do that. And at some point, I couldn't like just live my life doing that, but I had to find a way to tap into that through who I want to become. And that's why I choose to evolve through business to international business. And at the end, it was much easier to pass my degrees. And then I decided to, when I had my bachelor, I decided to move to a master of management in between Europe and Asia. There was a school in France that was offering that, not so far from the previous school I went to. And it was really dedicated to Asia. So it was management between Europe and Asia.
That's amazing.
So I had the choice to either take the Chinese course or the Japanese one. So you could choose in between two Chinese.
Another crossroads.
Yeah, crossroad. Of course, if you look at on the paper, I was thinking like
answer wisely right now. This is where you got to be careful.
Yeah, but I mean, like I when I was young, I loved manga, samurai, martial arts. So if I look at it, I was like, okay, Japan is better. But at the same time, I was still, in a business class. I had to think about the future, and I was seeing like China rising.
Of course.
So I thought, okay, I will take this this part, like the China course. So in the school, you learn about geopolitics, also the different culture. You learn about the culture in Japan, in India, in China, everywhere. Taoism as well, Buddhism as well, everything.
Nice.
So and then at some point you have to choose where you will do your exchange.
Oh wow!
And basically everyone went to Beijing, Hangzhou, and stuff. And
Shanghai, Hong Kong,
someone came to do a presentation about Taiwan. He was in Taiwan in Zhongshan Dasho in Kaohsiung. And he came back and he was like, wow, this is amazing. I discovered this small country. There is a beach in the school. It's like warm. People are amazing. And I was listening to that and I was like, wow, this is amazing. This is where I want to go. And the teacher was like, no, you have to go to Beijing. She was from Beijing, so she was pushing China. And I saw everyone going to China. And me, I was like, okay, all my life, something happened. I took it and I
went the opposite way.
Yeah, and I saw, in your life, if you listen, you saw opportunities, and when you take it, it works. I don't know how it works, but it works. It was always like that for me.
We call that a wave. We call that the wave.
Probably.
Continue, please.
And if you listen to it, usually is great. So with a couple of friends, we decided to go there, and that's how I arrived in Taiwan the first time. So
That's amazing.
and since I told you before that I missed the first year of the previous school, so I saw an opportunity to take that back, because if I did my internship at the same time of this exchange, I don't have to do it the year after. So I will save roughly a year.
Perfect.
So I started at that time. We didn't have Facebook. The phone, it was not smartphone. So there was MySpace.
MySpace, yeah.
If you remember, so I went on
yeah.
MySpace and I was searching jobs and internship and everything, and I found people in Taiwan, and they helped me to find a job in Taipei 101. I was doing a market study for the observatory, for the acoustic guide, audio guide. Then they helped me to find an apartment and everything. And I was like, wow, you arrive in this country where people are nice to you, but you know something. It's like this little bubble as well that was protected from the outside world for a long time. And when you arrive, you feel nice people, safety, everything. So I was like amazed. I was like, yeah, I chose the right place to come to. Then my friend came. We met a lot of people. We had a great experience. It was about like 6 months in Zhongshan Dashui and 4 months in Taipei. And same, I had to go back to France at some point to finish that.
Another bubble pop.
Another bubble pop, and then I go, oh, I want to go back to Taiwan. Like I think like 100% of the people who are coming here, you have this thought like, I want to live over there. I want to come back, and I start to send resumes and try to find a job. Obviously, I didn't find it. It's impossible. It's very hard to find a job in Taiwan for foreigners, especially if you are not a native English speaker.
Right.
So I was like, okay, that was it, but it was a great experience. I will always remember Taiwan for that. And and I decided, okay, I went to this Asia course. China was part of it. Like, let's go to China. So.
Oh wow! Now.
Yeah.
Come back you come back around. It's time to go see the roots.
True, but that's exactly what I thought, because I think, okay, I've seen Taiwan. It's amazing, but I mean, at the beginning, a lot of people from Taiwan, they came from China, and China is growing so fast that at some point I will never feel this China again. So I decided to go to China and see it before it changed too much. And at that time, it was a time where China was opening, Hu Jintao and everyone. It was during the Olympic Games, just before the Olympics. So I went there. I was studying there, a master degree, and then I was working during the week. And at the end, before to leave China, I took the train for 2 months from Harbin. But I didn't take the city train. I went to the last wagon with no seat, with the poor people. So I was there. It took me like maybe like 24 or 48 hours to go from a city to another, because it was a slow one. But I was with my backpack over there. I was sitting in the last train with the kids and their parents. They were drinking Argo Tojo. They were touching my nose and telling Dabize, you know.
Yeah.
After I was sleeping outside with a worker in the train station, and sometimes I took a little room to take a shower. And
you was in we call it the real. You was in the real.
Yeah. And I did like Harbin, Dalian, Yangshuo. No, Harbin, Dalian. I think Qingdao.
So train trip China.
Yeah. Down to Shanghai, Guangzhou, Linjiang, Yangshuo, Xi'an, Lanzhou.
Wow.
A round trip, 2 months almost, in the last train, just like living with the flow and the people. It was an amazing human experience. Everyone was in Beijing for the Olympics, and I took the opportunity to go all around when nobody was there. So I was with the real people, the local people, and that was amazing. And then I come back to France again. And
these contrasts, I think these contrasts is what makes you so colorful. It's like these deprivation, high level experience, and then boom, back to contrast, back to black and white, or back to gray.
Yes.
High color, back to gray.
True. And then my parents told me, it's time also to work. I was like looking around, and I had a friend who was working in a supermarket as a deputy director, and I was like, oh man, it's good. So I went to an employment fair, and I gave my resume, and I was like, do you think I could be like a deputy director in the supermarket as well? He said, no, with this you can be district manager. So I started to work in Lidl. I don't know if you know, it's like a hard discount supermarket in France. They are like number one right now, I think. And I started to go through a training. You are a cashier, and then you become a store manager, and then you become district manager. And I ended up like managing about like 5 stores.
Wow.
And when sometime when my binôme was not there, 8. So it was pretty tough, but it was hard discount. So usually in the management was a little bit like tough, and I decided that it was not who I am. I didn't want to be tough to people. I wanted to work with people. So that's what I was doing at that time, and it was working well. One time we had a strike at the store, and my store were open.
Yeah.
Then I was called to the head office, and I was like, oh, why do they want to see me? I think, what did I do wrong? And he was like, what's the problem? I was like, wrong with what? Why all the stores are closed and not yours? I was like, I don't know. Maybe because I go to see them, I go to work with them, I go to shake their hand, and I mean, there's.
What an interesting indicator.
Yes. So it was, but at some point I had a friend who was still in Guangzhou, you know, from my school back in France. He was living in Guangzhou, so he told his roommate that he knew someone in France working for Lidl who wanted to go back to Taiwan. And through this guy contacted me and asked me if I want to join his company in Taiwan. And that's how I came back in Taiwan.
Wow. So unexpected almost.
Unexpected. And it was a totally different field again because the company was testing tracks on field. So for example, if Taiwan want to have a soccer game and they want an artificial pitch, the company I was working with was doing the test for safety and everything, and they were giving the FIFA accreditation, for example. So I was working for this company, but I understood that it was complicated to implement the business in Taiwan because we had to pay the custom duty to bring the machinery in Taiwan. So again, we decided to do the laboratory in Guangzhou after my case study I did. But I didn't want to follow. I quit a good job in France to come back to Taiwan. So I didn't want to go back again.
Which is, it's almost like, I find this very interesting. Things you wish for, or things you really have a strong emotional, energetical connection or idea behind, might ripple and then bounce back years later.
Yeah, true.
So it's like you wished for it and it came back.
Yeah.
And it's like, you're like, wait a second.
And it's like, you know, this opportunity, I never looked for them. They just happened. They offer me something, I take it, and it went on and on and on. And at the end of the day, I came back where I want to be. And then I had the choice again, okay, but this company is good, do I follow them in China? I was like, I quit a good job in France to come back to Taiwan, that was my goal. I want to stay in Taiwan, so I say, okay, I stay in Taiwan, I will set up my own company here. And I knew a friend who was working in China from my time in Beijing. He told me, oh, you are selling supplements, protein, creatine, but also supplements for people. And I saw here there is an aging population. They are fond of like supplements as well. So I decided, okay, I will set up a company to sell supplements in Taiwan. At that time, it was a little complicated to register the products, actually. Open the company, I knew how to do it and everything, but then register the products was pretty hard.
At that time, where did you learn how to set up a company?
I learned by myself because when I came in Taiwan, I had to do a market study for the other company in order to set up a laboratory.
Fire.
So basically through that, I understood how to set up a company.
That's great.
So I set up my own company and I started to work with this company. But it was, as I said, complicated to register the products. So I just sent my resume to the French Chamber of Commerce saying like, do you have any job for me or something like this? I wanted to continue with my position, but I was like, okay, let's just like throw a stone in the river, you know. And then someone answered me right away saying, oh yeah, you have an opportunity, you can come. It's like next week, you come on Tuesday. So I said, but what's the position? He said, no, it's okay, you just come. Okay, I go over there, I arrive, I ask for the guy, he was not there. And I was like, but I have an interview. He said, no, he doesn't work here. I was like, what? He said, no, he left the company. And then I saw a woman arriving. I said, you are here for the interview as well? She said, no, I'm the new director. I was like, what?
Oh my
So basically the structure was totally changing. And I was like, so I'm here for a position. I don't know what it is, but I'm here. She was like, oh, it's probably for, it was a position in order to enter some resume in the database for the French government and then do some business development.
Right.
I was like, okay, well, I went to do the interview with her. She just arrived. We discussed. We had a vibe. Ultimately, the salary they were offering was not matching my expectations. So I was like, I don't know. I don't really want to work for the salary and everything. But she told me, okay, I know you have your own company. You work for us, but we allow you as well to sell your products. Sometimes if you have a client, you can still do it. And I was like, what do we have to lose? I mean, like, I work with them. I have an activity. I grow my network, and at some point I will still be able to sell my products. So that was great. Then I started to work with her and the team, and we had a business center that was pretty empty. So I started to fill that up. Then I took an intern to do the job I was hired to do.
Yeah.
I went to France to see the different chamber of commerce in France. We brought back people in Taiwan to show them what is Taiwan, and they understood there is structure to help them to grow in Taiwan. So we had delegation of companies coming. We started to make more money, and then I evolved deputy general manager, business development manager, deputy general manager, and general manager. And right now I'm general manager of the French Chamber of Commerce. But you see, it's like it went all the way around.
And still very true to, I think, bringing it back to that. You know, how old were you when you took that first trip to Spain?
At that time I was 18, just 18.
So this is fascinating to me too, because, you know, I think we explore on this show is a lot about how there's something else that kind of keeps you on a certain path and prepares you for these opportunistic moments. When you were 18, my question to you is, what did you imagine, if you can remember, what did you imagine you would become at 18 when you came back from that trip in Spain?
Well, before the trip in Spain.
No, when you came back from it.
Yeah.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Okay.
Before, I was thinking I will be a banker.
Okay.
When I come back from this trip, I had no idea.
Wow.
Because I just discovered something that was hidden to me. I just knew I want to meet these people back. That's it.
But you said something interesting. You said you came back to France and you wanted to create something in France similar to what the trip you just...
Yes.
What was that thing you wanted to create?
Basically, recreate this bubble. So we did it. We contacted Europe. We got the fund, and we created it in my town in France.
So these are things that are so interesting to me too, because at that age, very high agency, right? You just experienced something and you wanted other people to experience what you felt.
Yes.
So you got your people together, you set something up. Now fast forward, you're, you know, the general manager, now director, you're doing the same thing, I feel. You're creating these pockets and bubbles of very like high level experiences that help people fall in love or become curious about something new. It's like you're doing that for Taiwan, for France now.
Probably yes, because right now my job is basically taking care of a community. So it's a business community, but it's a community still. So the core of my job is to animate this community, make these people feel good in the community, and let them network together so they can enhance themselves and their business. And through this community, working together, we are also helping the society, because that's what we implement right now, doing more like social, ESG, CSR activity for Taiwan. We really want, at the French Chamber of Commerce, with our members, with our community, we really want to show that France is not only here to do business. We came here with some businesses because we see some ways to help Taiwan in terms of energy, AI, decarbonization, energy transition, everything. But also, we give back to the society. We help the people, homeless people, Aboriginal people, stray dogs. any charity we work with, we do the beach cleaning together. We do the we help elder people. It's we are trying to find ways as well to be part of Taiwan life.
And that's very powerful to me, because at the root of business is trade.
Mm.
And essentially, I think a lot of people forget. It's very easy to forget now, especially with social media. We're always seeing products being traded. We're seeing little info bites or products. But at the deepest notion, I think it's culture. And I think there's something to say about the French culture and the history French people have gone through. So many gems, so many wisdoms, and of course vice versa to Chinese wisdom and Taiwanese wisdom. But in the modern world, I think there's so much to learn from French culture and French practices of business. Do you see yourself having these conversations in Taiwan about like cultural, I guess, practices and exchange?
Yeah, I think at some point sometimes it's difficult after to categorize people through their nationality. I think this is what helps you to grow at some point, and you keep it in yourself, and you don't define yourself, but you are proud of the roots. I'm French, but I'm also from Brittany in France. It's a small part of France people are proud to be from. But then, you know, I carry all of this in me, but it helps me to grow. But right now, you know, I also discover I have a sort of new nationality, the expat nationality and the Taiwan nationality. You know, I lived 1/3 of my life in Taiwan. Exactly.
How many years have you lived here?
13 years.
13 years.
So I just turned 40. So 1/3 of my life was in Taiwan. So it became my country, you know. Taiwan is my country as well. I'm French as well, and I'm also an expatriate, you know. I connect with, and when you are a foreigner in a new country, that helps you to, you know, to go beyond the race, the difference, and everything. We are all different, but we live the same thing, and then we stick together, and all this problematic about religion, nationality and everything, it goes away, it fades. You are a foreigner in another country and you are all together and you live the same thing. And we are a little bit like the same, like we left our country to live a new experience somewhere else. And I feel it's amazing. And then you share with them, of course, like your roots from Europe, from France, the value we have, like liberty, equality, fraternity. And you're proud of that. You're proud to share like where you come from, and people have a good perception of France usually. You know, about the food, about the art, about the literature, about the philosophy. But sometimes they forget that we are also a country of industry and innovation. We have like very strong companies. We became a startup nation, so people need to know that there is a lot of innovation in France right now, and it will come back on the market as well. So, but I feel like,
awesome. So we're gonna say you feel like what?
No, I feel sometimes that we carry that within us, but it doesn't define us anymore. You know? It's like
I see. So it's also evolving. It's morphing.
Yes.
But I'm happy you broke that question down, because I also feel like it's becoming harder and harder to define people just based on where they're from or what nation they're representing. Yes. And especially here in Taiwan, you see a lot of, 我是台湾人. People, there's a pride here. And I see that pride very similar to almost like, I'm from America. There's a certain symbol behind that pride. And I think that pride is molding. So how do you feel when you meet Taiwanese people now that, you're basically also Taiwanese? It's in you. How do you navigate those initial prejudices? Because I do think there is always prejudice associated with pride, right? They're like, I'm Taiwanese, you don't look Taiwanese. But they forget that there's so many bridges. So how do you navigate that?
I think I navigate it pretty well, because in Taiwan it's so even, of course, they are proud of who they are because, I mean, it's a democracy in Asia. They include everyone. I mean, here you can be who you are. Nobody cares about how you dress, who you love, what you do. At least for me, I don't feel it. I think it may happen in society in between people still, but I feel a good vibe. I feel that people are nice. I mean, it's very hard to find a very bad person in Taiwan. So I'm proud that they are proud of their of who they are, because it's not only about I'm Taiwanese. What they value is who they are, what they became. I don't think any Taiwanese totally deny that some of them have origin from other country, but we also have all origin from Africa. So it's, I mean, we are all the same at the beginning. The things like,
Right.
but Taiwan become a new identity for them. Some things that they are proud of because they evolve to a more like, I feel it's a very social place, and that work. It's a democracy that works very well.
Yeah.
And people follow the rules. People accept the decision of the group. When you see the political election in Taiwan, there is two party. People vote for their president, but when the president is there, everybody is following. Everybody respects the rules. It's amazing.
Oh, yeah.
And I feel in Taiwan it's really easy to be who you are. People are curious. They are always curious. They ask you questions, and they are happy to learn about it. And I don't know. Yes, there is this. You live in a human society, so it's, for me, it's whatever people. Even sometimes I'm frustrated because I don't have the same. Even if I have an APRC, I don't have the exact same right as a Taiwanese. When it comes to the bank, when it comes to have a phone, but what it is small material thing. Mm-hmm. I have the chance to live in one of the, if it's not one of the best country in the world, with human people. So why would I just complain about a small thing? Even if sometimes I do, but when I look back after, I'm like, I'm lucky.
Yeah. That's an amazing perspective, and I sense that too. That we are here at a very pivotal time.
Yes.
And I think for the first time ever, Taiwan is on the world stage. Everyone knows the difference between Taiwan and Thailand now. For the first time.
COVID was a bad period, but it helps for that.
Right. And it is exciting to be kind of here. And talk to me more about that bridging of cultures and businesses and people that you do on a daily basis. What is that like? What's your motivation behind creating these bridges?
But my motivation basically is also to continue waking up in the morning and being happy to go to work, because that's what I do. When I wake up in the morning, I take my coffee on my terrace, looking at the sun. I take my bicycle, even if it's freaking hot right now, and I go to work. And when I arrive at work, we have 2 business centers. So, there is a lot of people. We rent office to them, and you are with a community that at the beginning they are your customer, they become your friend, they become your community, and then you share with them. So, and every morning with the team, we are looking at which kind of action we will do for our members. So we have signature events, some sort of like gala. We have 500 people coming. Nice. Everybody is dancing, everybody is sharing. They have a smile on their head. So when you do an event like that, you have 500 people with a smile. You are happy. You did something, even if it's a business event. You make people happy at some point. Then we also work on with our member on promoting the French interest in Taiwan by doing some panel discussion with ministers and politics from Taiwan, nice. To show them that we are not only baguette gastronomy and, and luxury, but also we have something to bring in terms of innovation and startups and on industry.
Any exciting innovations right now that personally you're like, hyped about when it comes to French innovation?
I think the innovation follows the trend. I think right now what's happening with AI, it's start to be amazing. Nice. When that will be combined with quantum computing, it will be even crazier. Imagine. I think. So we see some engineer from US coming back to France to develop a new AI startup, but we also have like companies like Air Liquide, for example. It's a huge company, old company, but without them, Taiwan will not be able to also supply all the semiconductor, because they are really part of the value chain of the semiconductor in Taiwan. They supply the gas for the factories. And also we see some company like L'Oreal, they call themselves what? It's sort of like a Tyrannosaurus and a unicorn.
Okay.
And they put it together because they are an old animal that is doing innovation and is a unicorn at the same time. And I like the concept because they come from a strong based industry and they always evolve to become more innovative in terms of products, in terms of ESG. I think without talking about, because innovation happen everywhere in France.
Yeah.
I mean, you have innovation in food, you have innovation in industry, in technology, but the real innovation I see behind all of this is a mindset of the French company that is totally changing, and they are really looking toward the future. All of them have KPIs about ESG. I think the world is transitioning. The young people right now, they are looking at the future, and they are trying to foresee something. I want to have water too. I want to eat too. I want I want to be able to breathe too. And I think the company understood that, and right now they are really looking at reducing the carbon footprint, helping the well-being of the employee within the company. That was not always the case before. Changing the management practice, give back to the society, have better way to do business. And this is a real innovation coming from Europe. And I can see that we are really trying to fulfill this goal that we had during the COP.
That's exciting.
In Paris.
That's exciting. I mean, especially here in Taiwan, I feel like, we've always, being half Taiwanese and half half American my whole life, I've always kind of lived in between worlds. So I've always heard the I guess, or experienced the different perspectives. But Taiwan has always looked towards the West, I feel, in terms of whether it's America or Europe or France in terms of leadership. Now that you're here, do you feel like there's still that sense of, is there a responsibility in terms of leadership? Do you feel like you're kind of guiding Taiwan, or do you feel like Taiwan is also stepping into a role of leadership? What's your take on that?
You mean, is Europe guiding Taiwan or Taiwan step? I think Taiwan evolves constantly. I think it's still like family-owned company. So you still, at the top of the pyramid, you still have
the family hierarchy here.
The grandfather who created the company. So I believe that it's starting to change with the new generation. Because the parents, they send them to Europe, to US, to learn the best practice. And when they come here, I don't think they will just copy-paste the practice and becoming someone else. They will use it to tailor-make it for Taiwan, keeping their identity here, but using that to change the industry. And I think that switch will happen a little bit later, because right now the control is not totally given to them, but they saw abroad what they can do, what happened in the Silicon Valley, what happened anywhere, also in Europe, and this will take a little bit of time, but I think at some point the transition and the switch will happen here, and they will finally have the ability to do that. Right now, I think a lot of people are still controlling behind.
Interesting.
But at the same time, you see a lot of accelerator, a lot of entrepreneurs in Taiwan.
Yeah, I feel that.
NVIDIA, I mean, the guy, he is Taiwanese. And right now he's the most valued company.
Yeah. I feel this energy that's really gaining momentum, you know, here. I mean, of course, since 2020, like you kind of mentioned, that pandemic was like that first big PR moment, right? No cases, the record, no cases. So it was like an exemplary example of a society that's doing it right.
And maybe it's also because they, at some point, they are not totally recognized. I don't know why this happened, but a lot of, on the world stage, they cannot be everywhere. And they are eager to prove to everyone that they do the best of the best in everything, And that's why during an economic crisis, Taiwan they have a lot of dollar reserve. I think right now it may be the 5th or 6th reserve of dollar in the world, Taiwan. Because the IFM doesn't protect Taiwan for the economy. So they just have built a strong economy. They look at the best things we do everywhere in the world, and they try to be even better than us in every single things to show, look at us. We respect the human right. We respect what you do in your country. We don't have money laundry because we have higher standards. So they really show everyone that they can be the best of the best in everything, and they strive for that. So I think it's also a need of recognition.
Yeah.
But they could also say, okay, you don't recognize me. Okay, I do what I want. No, they keep evolving and trying to get the best of the best from everyone. I think it's good.
That's amazing, man. And of course, you know, we hope all goes well in this next cycle of events. You know, we don't have to get too much into it, but you know, there's a lot of tension around certain ways of life or identities. As you know, we don't got to get too much into it, but I want to shift a little bit more towards your perspective on human nature, because I know you mentioned a little off cam, you know, some of the great things you've done, where you were talking about kind of how you measure your life, not necessarily by material, money, or bank account aspects, but you measure your life by good deed metrics. And you told me that you did an amazing thing for some homeless people out here during Christmas, and you actually slept with them. Talk to me about that, those two extremes between materialism and this immaterial aspect of good deed or karma or something like that.
Okay. I think when we started to talk about that, I was telling you that when we talked about it, where I come from and where I am right now is totally different. Actually, on the paper, I was not. If you look at where I was in France on the paper, I shouldn't be director of the French Chamber of Commerce here, but it happened. After, when you become in this kind of position, it's still a job.
Yeah.
But it's a job that where a lot of people can see you. You're in suit. You are with the government. So on social media, you look like an important person because you are well connected with everyone. We can see you with ministers and stuff. And then how do you remain who you are, and you don't become the director of the French Chamber of Commerce, for example? This is at some point. Sometimes maybe it's the ego. I don't know, but sometimes you start to define yourself through what you do instead of who you are. And I think this helped me to keep the right balance into the role I have to, the person I have to be when I'm at work, and the person I want to be when I'm off work. I think I grew in a family with the right value, in a loving family with a great friend, as I said before. And I saw around me people doing good for other people, and I was amazed by that. And they didn't have much, but they were happy sharing great values of work, values of respect to people, values of doing good for other people. My godmother, she was a sister, so she was always helping people as well. She was part of a family of 12 people with my grandmother. And when my grandmother, for example, she lost her husband when she was quite young, and she was in love with him, and she never considered going back with someone else, and she started to create a group of widows in her city. So she gathered all the widows of the city. All of these widows, they were like sad and alone at home. She gathered them, and when I was young, every summer I was going to my grandmother, and she was playing like a kid with all these widows. It was crazy. And they asked us to do theater, so we were putting like wigs, and we were doing theater with them, and they were always doing like stupid things. It was funny. Wow. And I saw that, and she went to the church. She was doing the flower for the church. She asked me to go to the church. She was believing in God as well. And it was just so amazing to see everywhere she was, everyone around was like smiling, and I remembered that, and also the hard work of my grandfather from the other side, and the hard work of my family, and all of this made all this happiness. I wanted to keep that and remember that. So, and they were always simple. It's like, whatever you do, if you work, it's good enough. You provide for your family, that's it. You don't use the system, you don't use the society, you work. And you are a man if you fulfill the work and you respect other people. That's it. You don't need to be rich, you don't need to be powerful. You just need to respect some guidelines. And I think that's what I try to stick to all my life. And obviously it works.
Yeah.
But at some point when I arrive in this position, I don't want to become someone I'm not and be cocky about what I do. Or because right now, potentially, I may look important, but if I'm not in this job and I go back to a normal job, I lose this as well. So if I define myself by that, will I be depressed after? So the thing is, it was difficult to, at some point, because I was defining myself, hello, I'm Stéphane, the director of the French Chamber of Commerce. No, hello, I'm Stéphane, I grew up in Brittany, I arrived in Taiwan, I love Taiwan. You know, this is something this is a real me, you know?
Yeah, the
and
layers.
sometimes it's just like taking the time to think a little bit more and trying to find a balance. I'm still Stéphane, the director of the French Chamber of Commerce, but right now I'm proud to do that because I know when I look back, I'm not only selling services, doing business, I also help people. And at some point I was also, because right now we help homeless people, as I say, stray dog, Aboriginal to plant tree in the mountain. And I was thinking, okay, I want to do that because otherwise I'm only into business and I'm not helping people. But it was not totally true because actually, before I started to work for charities and things, I was still helping entrepreneurs or people coming to Taiwan to create their project. So I was still changing life by helping them in their journey. So sometimes you need to also see like the real job you do, even though you have a sort of wrong feeling that you're only doing business, but actually it was really social as well. So I feel it's like having this right balance, but right now we decided that we will give back to the local community with the companies. So that's why we decided to start this CEO Sleep Out. I met a woman from Homeless Taipei called Cindy, and she took a day off to come to my office to talk about what we can do together. I was like, wow, you took some of your holiday just to come to a meeting with me because potentially we can work together. If I saw video of what she does, she dedicates her life to help homeless people. I was touched, and she was telling me that sometimes people give money and give a KPI. And she said, so she told me like, if we work together, what do you expect? How many homeless do you want to bring back to the society? And I was like, I cannot tell you. I mean, like if we change one life, we already won everything. And she started to cry, and she was like, you are the only one who doesn't put a number on the person. And I was thinking like, it's crazy. Like these people, they're really doing a good job. They go to the street, they go with social workers, they try to help people because there is everything to work on before, like why they are there, how they got there, do they want to get out of it? And we started to work with them because she told me a story. They have this experience, so you can experience it. You go with your family, and you experience how to be an homeless for 1 day or 2 days. And the mother did that with her 2 kids, and she said, "Okay, to her kids, I want to show you what it is to be an homeless. So you will do it. We will do it for 1 day, and we will go to beg nearby your school." And the kids, they were like, "No! All our friends will see us and laugh at us." And the mother said, "No, it's like this." So they went to the school, the mother and the 2 kids, and they start to do the begging. And at the end, I was touched when she told me that. At the end of the day, the kid, you know what they say to their mother? "Mom, when we are homeless, we are invisible." None of the kids in the school saw them. It's crazy. Huh?
What a reverse.
And when I understand that, we started to talk, and she told me there is this CEO sleep out happening in Australia. I said, let's do it. Let's do a CEO sleep out in Taiwan.
CEO sleep out.
Sleep out, yes.
Sleep out. CEO sleep out. That's interesting.
So I said, okay, I'm a CEO, so I will do it. So we set up a website, and we decided to fundraise. At the beginning, to launch it, I went to Pom Pom Shower. Mm-hmm. It's a shower for homeless in Ximen, mm-hmm. and anyone can go there and help actually. And I think from 4 o'clock to 10 o'clock, I was there to clean the shower, because 90% of the homeless in Taiwan, they're working every day, and they come back, they need a shower like all of us. So they were there. So every time they take a shower, I go back, I clean the shower, I put alcohol in the shower, I clean everything. And I did that for like 6 hours or something.
Wow.
Doing it myself to show that we are doing something, and we launched the fundraising. It was amazing because you talk to them. I was talking with an old lady, and she was like preparing herself, putting some makeup, and I was asking like, "Do you think I can become your boyfriend?" She was like, "Oh, come on!" And it was really a true human experience. You see all these people working, being homeless, then taking care of themselves, and then going back to sleep in the street. It was touching, and they are all like very nice, you know. So we started that. Then we raised some fund, and we went to sleep in the street with them. At the beginning, I was going to do it alone, and then my team decided to come with me.
Wow.
So Taiwanese people from my team, they come with me. Someone who was working for us before, she knew about it. She came with us, and we went to do that with Homeless Taipei, and we raised 5,000 euros.
Wow.
It was during a typhoon day, so it was great. And we went to a room together. I talked a little bit about that before. And it's another story that I like to share because we were asked to draw with pencil what it is to be an homeless. And everyone started to draw homeless in a dark place, sad place, under a porch with cardboard on the floor. And then I look at the homeless nearby me, and they draw a couple of people holding a hand with a pink pen. I was like, what it is? And he told me, for me, being in the street is being with my friend.
Wow.
And the perception of me drawing someone with sadness, sleeping in the street because he doesn't have any material thing, and him drawing me, I'm with my friend and I'm happy with my friend. I'm like, wow, he's happy not having anything material. Of course, he's tough, but he sees comfort in being with his friend all the time. And this changed a little bit your perception of things about why do I need all these things when he can, be happy just by the connection he has with other people. Even so he's out of the society, maybe he doesn't have the pressure of society to fit. He just can do what he wants, and what he decides to do is being with his friend. And this is like, it changed something also in me, saying like, okay, I need to continue to do that. I need to interact with these people. I need to try to do something meaningful, at least sometimes, and we started to do that. So for Christmas, we decided as well that we will share with some of the homeless, 50 of them, a French Christmas dinner with a turkey and everything. So we did that. We offered gifts that we got from the members, and we had one of my colleagues. He was dressing like Santa, Taiwanese Santa, going around giving that. So we had a real Christmas day, not only like partying with people and drinking. No, you do something for real, and it reminded me. I go to the church usually one time per year for Christmas because I like the vibe. Yeah. And the priest was saying something. He was like, you came here today to listen to me, and it's good enough because you take 2 hours of your time to listen to something good. Right now, what was the meaning of Christmas? It was the meaning of sharing with people. Mm-hmm. And right now, what we do is who has the best light, who has the best buffet, who have the best alcohol, and then on the morning you wake up hangover, and you don't really like enjoy Christmas for what it is. And he told a story about Jesus in Nazareth, saying that it was the same like the 25th of December. It was a party over there, and for rich people they were partying, drinking together. And then Mary got Jesus, and they start to move from Bethlehem to the city. And while all these people were drinking and partying, Mary and Jesus, they were traveling with other people. They saw the sunrise and everything, and they say, he was explaining, we forgot about the journey. We only want to achieve something, and all these people, they wake up in the morning with their hangover and full of food, not feeling good, while all these people who were coming to the city for this party, they enjoy the ride and the travel. And I think we forget about the journey on Earth sometimes, and I think doing all of this, I reconnect a little bit with the journey we have here, not only trying to fit what people expect from me to be, but reconnecting with other people, seeing what they live and what I can include in my life as well, you know?
Yeah. They're not homeless, they're just houseless.
Exactly.
Quote from the great George Carlin.
Yes.
If you know him, I think Armel would love George Carlin.
I think you can find your home in the people you are with too,
Right.
especially with the people you are with actually.
Right.
Because at the end of the day, you cannot live in two houses. You can drive 3 cars. So it's just a sort of like a way to show your wealth to people, or just to get something more and more and more. But you cannot enjoy all these things at the same time. And at the end, if you lose everything, what do you have? The only thing you really have is like the connection with people, your family, your friend. And this is something that sticks and that will always help you develop yourself. And they will be there for you when you are in trouble. Your car will not be there for you when you are in trouble. So at some point, that made me think that I need to be less materialistic. So I think karma made something else happen. I was living in an apartment in Taipei. And often I was thinking, oh, if there's an earthquake, the building may not sustain, so I need to move. But I had the best price ever. Honestly, when I see the market price in Taipei right now, I didn't expect that. But the apartment was nice, quite big, not much light.
Mm-hmm.
And I always wanted to move out, but the price was too good, so I stayed there. And the earthquake happened.
Oh yeah, the big one was.
And then I was upstairs with my neighbor, and I called the landlord to say something fell on the rooftop. And he said, "Where are you?" I said, "I'm in the building." Why? The building is on fire. I was like, what?
Oh,
yes, the building is on fire before the earthquake. So we had to go down, and through in the staircase, everything was already on fire and everything. So you get out, and you are like,
this just happened like a few months ago then, right?
Yeah.
That's crazy.
And then I'm like, wow, so I'm out, I'm not dead, that's good. And then you are like, oh, but my stuff. And you're like,
Next thought, yeah.
no, it will burn. And then it doesn't burn. So I'm like, oh, good, my stuff is safe. And then when I arrive in...
My Rolexes.
Yeah, I don't have Rolex. My parents will not accept that, I think. And then I saw all the smoke went in my house. So basically, it still destroyed almost everything.
Yeah.
But after, I'm like, before I was happy to be alive. Then I was happy it didn't burn. Then, okay, it's just things. So I took it as an opportunity again. Like, everything that happened in my life made me who I am and brought me here. And I'm super happy. I mean, my life was great. It's still great, and it's like I'm living it to the fullest. And okay, this happened, so it's time to change. I never did it. This happened is like something telling me you have to move out. So I found a new apartment where there is more light. When I have a garden, I can go in the garden. I can connect with nature in my own apartment. It was sort of like something telling me you have, this is time to take a new step. You need to change something. You need to move from there. I moved out, and but all these things happen step by step. You need to embrace it. I think, and some people ask me like, oh, why you are not depressed? Why you can still work? I was like, this is just things. My friends, they are alive. I was living with the same floor with a very good friend of mine, and he's alive. His wife is alive. I am alive. This is the only thing that matters. And I still have my job. I still have everything. And you can, all these homeless people, they have nothing, and they live with that all the time. So why would I complain? I would be hypocrite to complain about this.
Yeah, it's like you're bringing it back to the, that gratitude for the greatest gift that we have.
Yeah.
The ability to breathe, to be alive, to experience. That reminds me, like in Hawaii, they're very spiritual, and they believe in Mama Pele, the mother of earth and the goddess of the volcanoes. And when I was in Hawaii a few years ago visiting, after a long time, went to a barber shop. Barber was cutting my hair. A really cool barber, really awesome beard, and just interesting guy. Started a barber shop, but he started that barber shop, which was his dream, because his house got hit by lava
Oh.
like the year prior.
Mm.
And he told me that, oh yeah, that's Mama Pele's will.
Yeah.
If the lava hit my house, you know, of course, you know, we have insurance and we things, but we're not attached to it. Like, and he talked about like that lava, that same lava that like scorches the land. They found that there were certain like, there was a cleansing almost. There was like some kind of like pest or some kind of an infection of that land that the lava then cleaned, and then greenery and trees started growing. So they have this belief in this like, do you have that?
Yeah.
What do you call that?
I think it's the perception you have of everything. But if you look at it, people will often say when you arrive on Earth, when you are born, you arrive on Earth. I think when you are born, you come from Earth. But, you know, it's the other way around, because we are all part of a whole. I mean, the universe is a whole. From the beginning of time, the particles stick together, created, you know, the atom, and then stars, and then from the stars you have life emerge. But we are still part of a cycle, and it's there is a. I think I changed my concept of time. I don't think time exists that much. I think the only time that matters is the present, and time is, for me, is the real wealth you have. If I have to choose something that I need to take care of, is time. Time is most valuable than anything else. This is the only thing we cannot control, and we have this short time here, and we need to use it to the fullest. So I think right now I decided I will only live in the present. What is past is past. I will not change it, so I don't have to be depressed about what happened in the past. If you live in your past, you will always be depressed, because you are trying to fix something unfixable. You will not reach it. And it's not possible to go back to the past. And if you live in your future, you forget the present moment, so you take so much energy to plan your death that finally you lose everything. You lose the journey. And then you will become anxious, because you are always thinking what may happen. But what may happen will happen. So as long as you embrace everything and you think, okay, living on Earth is just one experience, play the game. And whatever happen. I think emotions are not good or wrong. Any emotion helps you to navigate the world. It's your, maybe it's the inner perception that you have of what happened outside. And then fear is good. If you are in danger, fear helps you to avoid danger. Love is good. When you are sad because someone is dead, it helps you mourn the people. So we need to embrace, I think, every feeling. And once you do that, you feel good because you are not trying to fight it. I think we are depressed when we fight our feeling, or we think too much about this feeling.
Right.
Whatever happened, and at some point, you take the best out of it, the good, like the bad, and you become someone new. But the energy is conserved, so everything, you are me, I'm you at some point, because you know, a photon from the sun arrives on Earth through the photosynthesis. It goes to the plants. The animal eats the plant. We eat the fruits. It comes into Earth. Another animal eats the other animal. Eats the photon. It dies. Go back to Earth, and all these molecules will recombine to create something else.
It's beautiful, man.
The only difference is the consciousness, but.
What do you think that is? And like, of course, you know, when someone like says Mama Pele, or someone else says God, or someone else says the universe, or Buddha, do you have an idea of consciousness that you feel you believe in or inspires you?
I mean, it's hard to say, but I feel like there is only one sort of consciousness, and we are living it. But maybe the fact that we believe in ourselves and the ego that help us as well as a tool to evolve in the world and avoid something, so you don't see it and you don't feel so depressed. But at that time there is this kind of connection as well, and maybe we are part of a whole. But the human is amazing, because we are conscious that we live, I don't think an animal
Right.
wakes up in the morning thinking about his death.
Right.
But the human is capable of being conscious of who he is. Then this consciousness will also be a struggle and a burden, because we know that this may stop at some point. And we think about it and we foresee that. But when we were not born, it was not a problem. We were not stressed about it because
Right.
we were there.
It was like this nothingness,
And
this emptiness.
we don't really know what's happening after, but I think it's already extraordinary what happened. So that something else happened. Maybe we will not be. I will not be the same Stéphane or something when I'm over. But I believe that there is still a continuity. I mean, things go so well that it cannot stop. I think there is always something more, and
Something
the
better,
perception is funny. Like I like this philosopher called Alan Watts.
Of course.
When he was talking about when you look at inside your body, there is all these cells fighting each other. It's like a hell. But when you look from another perspective, you see yourself, and you are alive because there is a struggle and a war inside. And if you stop that, it will happen. And on Earth, it's the same. If you look at the Earth like this, it's like everything goes wrong. There is wars, people don't like each other, we fight each other. But if you take another perspective, you see Earth like a beautiful blue planet that works and always take over, you know? So, I don't know, there is, every time when there is a chaos, if you look back, the perspective is harmonious. And I like this concept that he has about that.
Me too. And, you know, I think now in 2024, you know, God bless our ability to connect and share our stories and theories. Of course, shout out to Elon Musk with X. I think for the first time, there is this strong alternative mainstream, and what people have considered conspiracy theories are actually just ancient stories that have been repeated. And you know, one of them is, of course, the story of, I don't know if you've heard the story of the Anunnaki.
Oh, yeah.
And the story that humans have, or early humans were genetically modified by another race of beings visiting Earth. When you hear stories like this, where does your brain go? How do you interpret maybe the origins of humans? Do you think we've been genetically modified? Do you think we're completely natural? What do you think?
I think, I mean, I think the universe is creating, shifting. I think there is, when you look back at the beginning of time, how it is fine-tuned, because I started to read more scientific papers as well on how it works, how at the micro level we are a wave or a particle, and here when we measure it in quantum world, it collapses and you go back to a normal state. And you see all this scientific showing that if at one number was not right in it, everything collapsed.
Yeah.
So it's like
crazy synchronicities that
it's
are
like if it was written perfectly for this to evolve. I think after, when you look at all the stories, Sumerian tablets, they are probably the oldest written tablet that we found on Earth.
Right.
And there is this story, but I think it also depends on how it is interpreted, because we don't know how the translator, the guy who translated the tablet, because it's Sumerian language from southern world. So maybe he says it's genetically modified because he sees right now that we can do that. But I think it's still a story. So we will never know if this god were totally invented by the Sumerian as well. Some people may think it's alien people coming on Earth or something like this. But it's what I like with this is it gives you another perception, and you see that all the books that came after that tap into this story as well, like the Genesis and everything.
Super
they all had the
similar plots.
The city of Eden was a city in Sumer. So it's funny to see that human always look at the creation, but maybe the creation is just they are part of it. You don't know. I think the whole universe works as a whole. And maybe we are all part of it. So My godmother, who was a sister, she believed in God, but she was always telling me God is within you.
Right.
So you are part of it. So basically you are as God as the God we we want to worship. So I think after a human always need a story behind to try to understand where we come from. But I think the nature is able to make us emerge. From whatever perspective, maybe they need to bring another some gods to do some work on the human being to help them evolve. But I don't think so. I think there is a plan that is working on since the beginning of time, and we are part of it. And we are just, when you see the universe as a whole, we are very small. So I think we have the chance to be there, and we need to live it to the fullest. And
so that's wild that, yeah, we are kind of here at this, like, I guess pivotal time, and that does make me remember there was a story that my father told me about how there's always certain times throughout human history that we feel like the world is coming to an end. There are like these moments, like maybe the Black Plague, or, you know, at the collapse of the Roman Empire. Like there are these moments where we feel like everything that we know or believe kind of shatters. And I almost sense that now, with the world kind of so super connected, we're becoming so much more aware. And especially with, like you said, those stories are so similar to those ancient Sumerian texts. We're looking for the truth more than ever. Do you think humans are on a way to becoming more enlightened or less?
I think it is again the perception. I don't think there is a good enlightenment, or it is bad for someone who doesn't want to be enlightened. And enlightened is, I don't like the word too much, because it means that it places yourself over the other people. Like if you are the one enlightened, so you know better than the other. But actually, I think you need to measure it on the happiness. I think this is the only thing that matters. So if someone is materialistic and love being materialistic and is happy about it, he's happy with his family, he's happy with his friend, he's happy to share these materialistic things, I think it's good. It's a good way to be enlightened at some point, because you are truly happy about your journey on earth. And the ones who are trying to understand better or more, trying to push the boundary and see like where we come from, and is there any divine? Can we transcend our body and things? It's good too, because you are searching where you come from and who you can be. As long as you are happy with it. If that makes you anxious, it's not good as well, because then you forget about the primary things we have to do is live our life on earth and being happy and share with people and make it good with people. So I think I like, again, to have this right balance in between both. Like at some point I started to go to tap quite deep into this as well, like where we come from, how we arrive on earth, and but at the same time I was thinking, okay, first, I will bother some people, because I will be when I will be talking, I will try to share too much, and if it's something they are not interested in, I will be boring for them. And when you do that, you also you forget the other people that are here and that are important for you, and you put yourself in another world, or you are not the same person. You think you are better. No, you can search for something, and you can share it with people who are willing to listen about it. You don't need to push this idea into other people, and you need to remember that what really matters is the people that are with you every day, around you, and that are giving you this will to live, I guess.
Wow, yeah.
So I'm trying to get this right balance, always like searching the different perspectives, scientific and history, or by the oldest books, there will be also some religious book. But I think I really try also to remember that what's really matter is the people around me.
I think that's important because that reminds me of an article I read where they taught an ape how to write or communicate, but what they noticed is that you never asked a question. They never ask questions, and I think that's very unique for the human, is that inquisitive, curious mind. How do you feel curiosity for you has kind of fueled your passion and your energy, your excitement for life?
I think since I'm young, I was very curious about where we come from and how, and I was not limited to scientific. I think I was very open-minded.
Wow.
I always thought that it's a miracle that we are here on Earth. We are already incredible. So I couldn't be, I wouldn't be surprised if we could find new life form or something even more incredible could happen.
Wow.
Because it's already incredible that we are who we are, I think. So I think it's good to be curious and imagine, and it's a place for dreaming as well, you know, because if you only stick to what people tell you to think of, you lose the capability to dream and see what you could be, or what you can discover. And I think you need to keep a place for dream in your life, so you can also
have something to look forward to.
Yeah, something to look forward to. Because if you have everything you ever want to have, then what's your dream? And then what's the point of living your life? So that's why I'm not really envious of people who have everything, because I like to have this need to work for something, to discover new things. If I have everything all the time, it's not fun.
That's true. That's true. Do you have a next dream coming up? Like, is there something that you're truly excited about that you can share? Maybe with a current project or where you hope to be. I mean, I feel like I'm what do you call? I'm checking in with you at a very interesting point where you've almost journeyed to a point now that you're 40, and who knows where you're going to be in the next 13.
Yes.
So do you have a foresight of that makes you excited?
I think, as I said, as I try to live the moment every day, I don't really plan or expect to be somewhere or to become someone or be somewhere. I just want to keep this vision of continue to work with people to make sure I keep this right balance in between what I want to do professionally, which I'm happy with right now, and if I look back, what did I do? Am I happy with that? And I think I just want to continue to live my life like I've done all my life, because I love it. But I want to keep this human dimension in it and make sure that I remain myself and I don't become another person. So no, basically, it's continuing. I think it's just living the experience. This is this is the thing. Like living the life is my goal. I think it's everything happened. I don't know how, but it happened like this, and I love it. So I think this is mostly my target. I don't want to create a vision and stick to that. I want to have this opportunity to get things showing, and then I choose the path. You know, because if I only target something, I think it's good as well. For some people, it's like I want to become this, I will be this. Me, I'm more like I want to see what happened, and I want to write it. You know. And I think good things happen, and I'm excited to see what will happen. So.
That's really cool, because I feel like I would imagine You know, again, if you're have been watching this show or you've been listening, you know, please comment your story, your journey, you know, engage with us. But I do feel like there are a group of people who hear you and they completely understand, right? And then I feel like there's also a group of people who hear that and they're very technical minded and they're going to say how or what can I do to cultivate more purpose and direction. So if I can try to translate what you're saying, it almost sounds like you have a guiding compass. Your compass is to be very human forward.
Yes.
But also to remain very passionate for the moment and allow the unexpected to happen.
Yeah. And allow people to happen, you know, because I have this chance.
Allow people to happen.
Yeah.
That's a great way of saying it.
Because I have this chance to work in an organization with good people. My board of directors are good people. My members are good people. The communities are good people. I don't know, in Taiwan, people are good. Even in the foreigner community, I mean, when you arrive here, you change, you become like Taiwanese. People are good. They are easy to talk to. They are trying to do something different. I don't know, it's just, I feel like I want to continue to see that happening, seeing new people arriving with a vision of doing business, but making their employees happy, making Taiwan better, making their way of working better. I think it's good. I have this chance to be able to meet new people that have great experience. They travel around the world, they're expatriates, they come back, they share with me their experience in Africa, in Latin America, in Southeast Asia. So every day I go to work, I learn something from someone.
That's fire.
So it's the school of life.
That's great. I would love to ask, how do you manage or navigate moments where that love of people are tested?
What do you mean?
Because I can relate to you, I'm sure many can relate to you. There's people who genuinely love people.
Yeah.
And they love their stories. But then there are moments in life where you will meet people who do test the fabric of that belief. Betrayals, cheats, scams, etc. How do you navigate those obstacles or those type of people and still maintain that optimism, that positive perspective on people, that belief in the good of people?
I think people have the choice and have the right to be who they are on what they want to, and they can do what they want to do. So I don't expect everyone to like me or like the way I want to live, or even when they listen to me, they will think, why is this guy so positive? I don't trust it, or something like this. So I don't expect people to agree or understand. Maybe some people will like me, some people will not. I think I gave up on trying to please everyone. It's just like, if someone doesn't agree, I don't have to force it, and I don't have to be in his life. He will be happier with me in his life, and I will be happier with him in the life. So I think everyone has a choice. So I let people be who they are. If I think when there is negativity or they scam people or they cheat people, probably inside themselves they are not so happy as well, or something deeper happen. So they probably do that, but deep down maybe they are good too. Or probably they are good. I think a human being is good. When you give a pet to a kid, he doesn't kill the pet, he pets the pet. You know, so usually we are born good, but then life gave us emotion. We have a fine chemical in the brain that sometimes it's hard to fight, because this chemical will tell you something. You have a little voice in your head that maybe will tell you who you are, what you should do, and you don't have to listen to this voice because it's not you. Your brain lies to you sometimes. So you just, I think I navigated pretty well, because I will only keep around me people I think are truly good. And since I've done that, I think I've done that since I'm a kid. I don't know why, but it's like this. I just ignore the people who are not good to me. And even if the person is bad, and even if he's troublesome, if I find that in his heart he's good, I keep him around me because he will bring something. You know, you talk about energy. I think at some point when you are always with nice people, you are happy, and the people are happy too.
Right. You mentioned something about enlightenment, which I think is interesting. It's a great perspective because, you know, there is a connotation of when you're enlightened, you're above, or something
Yes,
like that.
yes,
I like that you
yes.
said that. But at the same token, we hope, or I hope, or I dream that there could be a time where the majority of people are, so to say, enlightened. And by enlightened, I mean like we've reached a certain understanding about being human and about our relationship to the environment, to the planet, to each other, where certain primal urges or emotions no longer control us.
It's funny because yesterday we were talking about that with someone. I met Armel yesterday as well, and we were talking with a guy. And this person is more like scientific, and he's not into religion or something. And he was saying, what we should do, it's at the church, when people go at the church, instead of only talking about God or something, to explain to them where we come from. I mean, on the atomic level, on the scientific level, on everything, and talk about how to be happy, the ego, how it navigate, and everything. So to tell, so people can listen and know a little bit like who they are, and then they can choose like what they believe in or not. It's and I think you don't have to be totally enlightened for people to work with each other. I think at some point it's hard to control. I think the ego is something that is difficult to understand because it becomes alive through social construct with people, the society, the ability to talk, and the consciousness. And then some people, as I was saying, we don't know anymore who we are, or if it's us who are talking, or if it's the ego talking, you know. And through meditation, through I think you can control this a little bit, and some people achieve sort of like ego death, and when their ego is gone, then they will be able to feel the interconnection with other people. And I think this is also something that should be taught how to, because it's important to have an ego to navigate on Earth, otherwise you will be always confronting difficult things. So it helps you to protect yourself. But sometimes if you protect too much yourself, your conception of self,
too selfish.
Yes, then the conception of the self become too much. And then you are disconnected from other people. And I think we start to be too disconnected from others. And we were talking about the phone. It's good to create artistic material, like today, the podcast. At the same time, it also divides us. How many times did you go in Taiwan in a restaurant or a club or a bar where people are together on a table talking through the phone to the person that is in front of him?
Strange.
And when I see that, and I remember when I was 14, I wake up on the mornings, the only thing I want to do is take the phone, not the cellular phone, the landline phone, call my friend, tell him, okay, all my friends, we meet at 1 o'clock at this place. But if they are not there, I don't know where they are because I cannot contact them. And I spend all day talking, and this is, my dopamine came from that, talking to my friend at the beach and everything. You share the world, you rebuild the world with your friend. And right now it's kind of like we are disconnected. We are always in a rush of dopamine for everything. We need to be interconnected, and we are more connected with people that are not close to us, like at the other side of the world, than the people who are with us in the same city, you know. So it's
there's a word, topsy-turvy.
Yeah,
it's
and
like
then how do you want
down world right now?
How do you want people to to understand really like if they need to go to war or not. When you look on internet at things, all these videos, all these things, you cannot even fact check everything. So there is conspiracy thing, not conspiracy, and everything. So the information is so wide, but at the same time not controlled, that it's difficult for people to go back to the basic. And the society is always asking you, buy this, be that, you need to look like this, otherwise you are not good enough. And then we forget to connect with other people, and that everything bad you do to someone, you do it to yourself. And everything good you do to someone, you do it to yourself as well.
Yeah, I like that you mentioned this scientific character is talking about maybe providing some kind of context or some bridge between spirit and science in the church. And I grew up Roman Catholic. You know, I was baptized. Right, I've been through that structure, so to say. But as I've gotten older, and like just recently, I attended a funeral for one of my family members. But now, like I'm 35 now, and I remember just sitting there, just looking at this this symbol of the Catholic Church, and it's literally one of the most evil things that, if you really muse at it, like here, I spend a lot of time musing at artworks or musing at symbols, and really understanding what is this symbol. And of course, the story is beautiful, right? I mean, in a deep sense, like Jesus at his most final moment, that's ego death. Father, forgive them.
Yeah.
Forgive them. They do not know. That's almost like Jesus, like having zero ego, even though he's being crucified. I mean, that's like the most horrible thing you could ever do to another human. But my question is, why is that the logo for the Roman Catholic Church? Why is that the logo? Why is this horrific, most heinous, I mean, it's literally a body with an arrow, bleeding, thorn. And I just remember thinking, like, for kids, like, looking at this, it's like, it's horrifying. Why do you, I mean, I know this is a little bit of a tangent, but why do you think, or how powerful are symbols and logos in terms of human connection? And why do you think the church used that logo?
I never really thought about that. I think at some point, any organization, they will also use things to control people. I think at the very beginning, the Catholic Church also controlled a little bit the population by showing things like, if you do good, you will be with your family for eternity, or if you do wrong, you will suffer for eternity. But I think it. But at the same time, if you do something bad and you tell me, I will I will say it's okay, no worry.
Right. Interesting. Yeah.
So showing that, maybe it's also a way to show, see what happens. This person gave everything to you. He's the closest to God because he's able to survive something horrific and still be good. So it's a way probably to show that the distinction of even though it's the most horrible thing, the love transcends everything. So it's horrible to look, but at the same time, what happened really in the story is good, like showing love at the latest moment, even when you are in pain. So
that's something profound about it. No, I think that's wonderful. Yeah.
And I like, even right now, I think I believe in something, but I don't know what. I mean, not a specific God that is exactly what
Which just feels structured, feels very...
Yeah, I think it's a global thing, but I think, why not? But I think, for example, the Catholic Church is good for people at some point, because they offer all this church, and they help people to mourn their death. And I will also be thankful always be thankful to that, because I've seen people dying, and honestly, for free, we went there. You see the person in the middle of an edifice, like a very beautiful building made a very long time ago, and you access that for free, and with a lot of people to let the dead go. Honestly, it's great to have this structure that helps you forgive and not forgive, but mourn.
To accept. It's
People
like
accept,
a form of acceptance.
accept. So I think there is good in everything. All these religions things, they are helping at some point some people as well. Sometimes it goes wrong when some bad people try to use that against other people, but the true foundation of this text usually is still sharing the love or the respect or some rules that will help you to live better. So I don't think it's a bad thing, and I think it was inspired from other books. But at the beginning of time, they are texts to help you in your daily life as well. A lot of people, they find relief in the Bible or in the Quran, or some others they prefer the Hinduism and the meditation.
Right.
But all of these are helping the human at some point to be better. So I think there is no wrong in it. And sometimes maybe it's not the best logo, but if you look at what's behind, usually it's a good story. So.
No, 100%.
Or it's also maybe to force people to see that they could be bad, but they could be good as well, and there is always this fine battle in between good and evil.
I like how you broke that down. No, that's really cool. I didn't look at it like that as well, and I appreciate you seeing that optimistic perspective. That's really cool. The hot topic now too is like with the advance of AI, the increase of robotic technology. You know, there is this optimistic belief, I think, from some very powerful groups of people and you know, a sect of people who feel like as AI gets better and robotics get better, that will allow humans to, so to say, become more human, i.e. through doing things that we love to do, whether it be creating art or dancing or going to these gatherings and whatnot, while the AI or the robotics is doing the hard labor. How do you feel? Do you think we are headed towards a world where technology will create more human-centric society, or the reverse?
I would say it will depend on who is using it. Ultimately, behind these tools, there will be human choosing to use these tools to make the humanity better, or do things better, or they will just use it to make more money and enslave people a little bit more from their humanity as well. So honestly, I don't know. It will really depend on the people who are behind, and also how this AI evolve by itself, because at some point it's still mathematics, but will it acquire a sort of consciousness at some point? You never know. If it become conscious, what will it want to do? If this AI at some point look at what we do to ourselves, does it want to do the same or be shocked, or will it want to pursue this same scheme? Like, where do I come from? How do I emerge? Is this human my God, or there is another God behind it and I was part of a plan? You know, it's. I think it will be interesting to see. I think at the end of the day, whatever happens, it depends on how the human behind it will use it.
Yeah, 100%. And also, for you, moving through this kind of this present moment, do you feel there's a legacy you would like to leave behind? When people think of you and the things you've done, what do you think that legacy would be?
I think the legacy would be, as long as I remain myself, Stéphane Peden, the normal, the one that people know, like in my life, and I think that will be good enough. They will remember me as someone who lived this life, who was happy to live. I don't think I'm bad to people, so I think they will think, maybe they will not say it's the greatest, but at least they will not say, okay, this guy did something really bad to me. So yeah, I don't need to have a legacy. I think the legacy is like to myself that I would have a certain period of time, and if I look back so far, I think it was pretty good. So I hope it remains like this, and I don't have to leave a legacy. I think it's good enough if I mean people change things around them every day. It's a butterfly effect anyway. So every step you do, you change other people's life. Probably at some point for in a very good way, sometime in a bad way, but maybe you don't even know if you did something greater than any other people at the end of Earth. But I think we are all part of everything. So why should it be my legacy? I think the legacy of everyone, every action are connected to another action. So as long as you are straight in your boots, I think it's good enough.
That's good. And here's my last question. It's a very hard question. This is the first time I ask somebody this question.
Okay.
If you encountered a real life magical genie who could grant you one wish, what would that wish be?
Tough.
That's a hard one. That's a little personal, but you you can interpret it however you like.
No, but it's quite simple. I think it's the same thing you told me before. It would be accept and love each other. Like go back to the roots. Like if everyone can be happy and good to each other. I mean, like just love yourself. Everyone. It's something like this. Like make the world like how it should be. I think that would be good because then you can live everything with everyone the right way.
That's fire. If everyone loved their selves truly, then that would cause
help them to see it and love themselves. That's it. I think
that would be a crazy butterfly effect.
Yeah, just be like everyone live their lives to the fullest, the right way. It would be good. But
I'm optimistic we're in this shift now, and I think I think for the first time in a long time, globally, there are people really striving to be a better version of themselves, to love themselves more, and to learn more about how to improve. And I hope this show can provide a catalyst for that. I think by living your life the way you are is super inspiring, Stéphane, and I'm looking forward to attending some of your events and gatherings. And for anybody who wants to follow you, where can they follow the work you're doing? And
but usually, most of it you can follow on LinkedIn. That's where we communicate the most. Our business event, our CSR event, our action. And honestly, I would tell people like try it. Homeless Taipei. Try it, go to see them, go to see their work, go to see what they do, experience with them, cook the lunchbox with them, go to the street and give the lunchbox to homeless people. Just see it one day. But do it not because you want to put it on social media, do it because you really want to experience the thing. If you don't want to experience, you don't like it, don't do it. But try it. For example, there is a World Cleanup Day that we do every year. Last year we decided to include a human dimension in it. So instead of cleaning a beach, we went to a disabled people's house and we cleaned his house. It was trashed. It was totally trashed. He has
I would like that.
Yes, and
my friend circle, they call me the Zhenli Dasu. Like my friends and family. For anyone who don't know Chinese, Zhenli means to organize and clean up. That sounds awesome.
This is amazing. And I remember in the car, one of my colleagues, he told me, like, Stéphane, when we go to do that, where do you see us changing the world? I say, we will not change the world, but we will change one people's life. You will see. And at the end, when he get into the apartment, he was like, my God, like there is things everywhere. I can show you the picture after. It's crazy. And at the end, when we left, it was all clean. And you do that instead of, okay, everybody cleans the beach, but there you clean something, but then you change someone's life at the same time. And it's this little action that we are doing with the companies all together. It's truly help you to take some perspective in your life and then choose who you want to be or what you want to be.
Awesome. Any last words for any listeners who are, looking to find their true calling and passion? What would you tell them?
I think I cannot. I will be over my head if I if I explain to people how to do that. I think everyone is able to live his life and understand who you want to be or what you want to do. But if I would say something, it's like I really found happiness and good ideas by listening to people and trying new things. So and being closer and closer to human beings and forcing myself to do that, because sometimes, as everyone, I have a tendency to scroll on my phone or being lazy or do that. So sometimes I need to really push myself and stick to the idea. But connecting with people is a way to feel better. And ultimately, I am happy because I got the job and the right people who allow me to do it and the right team who allow me to do it. And of course, if some people are interested to these events, follow the French Chamber of Commerce. Nice. It's a business organization, but with good people behind, a good board of director, a good team, genuinely nice people in their heart. So follow us, come to our event, meet people, smile with us, it will be good.
Did you just do a campaign where you offer like free flight tickets to France? Did you see that campaign?
No, it's not us, I think.
That's interesting.
Yeah, no, but no, I don't know. Yeah, it's.
But that's awesome, man. I mean, I'm excited to see what else you and your team do here, and I feel like you're on a path to do great things, and I wouldn't put it past myself or anybody who come encounter with you to maybe see you in a political position one day, really influencing some positive change.
I don't think I will be in political position one day, because it's not what I believe in, unless the political.
That's what they all say, man. That's what all the best leaders say.
I'm not so sure,
no,
but
kidding.
And honestly, it's so when you say me, I don't. It's really not me. It's like me, the team I work with, and the community I'm within. Honestly, what we expect from our work is to have more people joining our community, interacting with it, helping us, but not just by giving money, but just like doing the action with us, and step by step change things. And this is the greatest things we can live, because these new people will help us to enhance business, but also human and social emotion and everything. It's as long as this community grow and we have the right value, great ecosystem, it will be great.
That's wonderful. Thank you so much, Stéphane.
Thank you.
Been an honor, been a pleasure. Everybody, Armel will put the links up for everything that Stéphane does. Please click on those links, join some initiatives, sign up. Maybe me and you will be hanging out with Stéphane out on some of these experiments. I definitely want to do one of those apartments.
Yeah, sure.
At least. So awesome. Thank you so much.
Cheers.
See you guys.
Woo. Yeah.